Hello Tenno, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to talk about the kit of Uriel. What does it do? How do I build him? And it's his entire kit and powers. So let's get on to it. So Uriel's passive. He commands those three guys around him, and each of these companions unlock when you unlock his first three abilities. The first ability unlocks Katanak, the second ability unlocks Galfagor, and the third ability unlocks Vitelas. So Katanak basically has Kularo's collective curse ability. What that does is it passively connects enemies to each other with a chain, and the damage is shared between these enemies. What Gulfagro does is basically it's the facehugger unit. When it attaches to an enemy, there's an icon that appears, and when you shoot that enemy with the icon, it bursts into flames and drops a bunch of health and energy orbs. And last of all, Vitelas. Vitelas creates a rune out of a dead enemy that recently died. When you collect this rune, you get fire rate boost and uh, fire attack damage. And the details are in the abilities. As you can see, that Katanak's duration. As you can see, Katanak's duration and damage per second is shown there, and the slow is 95%. This scales with ability strength. So basically, when Katanak get those chains on enemies, it will deal 200 damage. It will last 15 seconds, and they will slow the enemy by 95%. And I'm going to show that in a gameplay right here. So as you can see, the golf will already attach. So yeah, it's kind of insane. They do this passively. And you can see on the left side that Katanak does these chains. And like I said, this is literally Kuloro's like collective curse, which makes me think that this Warframe is insane because it chains again. And this chains lasts 15 seconds. And yeah, I'm just like just bouncing off the enemies and just damage them all, which is really cool. Now, on to the second one. So Golfagor stats are right there. You probably saw in that gameplay where like it attaches. It has. Let me see in my recording. So it latches for 15 seconds. So you saw the red icon. It lasts for 15 seconds, and the radius of that flame that burst from them when you kill them is 9 meters. This scales with your ability range. The duration uh, scales with ability duration, such as continuity, augur, message. The range can be scaled by overextended and stretch, and of course the strength of health drop, health orb drop, and energy orb drop, and damage per second can be increased by ability strength mods, such as um, transient fortitude. Yes, then there was another corrupt one that I forgot. Blind rage, transient fortitude. If you're a new player, I kind of forgot which ability it was that gave you a bunch of ability strength. But yeah, and this green, like these stats you see, are with 200 ability strength. So if you have 200 ability strength on Uriel, you'll have this amount of percentage on the orb drops and the flame damage. The latch deals 400 flame damage, but that doesn't matter because it's more like a stun than anything. So yeah, that's what Goldfogel does. And last of all, there's the Vitala stats. The fire rate buff increases with ability strength, the extra damage increases with ability strength, and the buff duration increases with ability duration. I believe in this Simulacrum gameplay, the icons supposed to appear. Basically, Visalis just finds a dead enemy and turns them into a rune symbol, and there we go. And at the right side, you just run into it and collect it. The runes are easy to see, but if they are not easy to see, they are pinged in the map, as you can see on the minimap, like right there. There's like that gigantic white symbol on the middle of the minimap. That's pretty cool actually, because like I know my energy, like it also changes, like the color can be changed with your energy color, but like sometimes in the hundreds of enemies you might not see them. So that's kind of cool. They're also pinged in the minimap. So Now we're done with the passives. Let's get started with Uriel's main abilities. Uriel's first ability, Infernalis, it's unlocked by default when you first get Uriel, and this unlocks Katanak. Basically, you get a flame aura, and you just run into enemies, or the enemies that were already around you start bursting in flames. These flames deal 3000 damage when you activate it, and the damage per second is 500 flame heat damage. And there's a second effect to this ability where when you use your dodge in this form, you will start flying around and spinning, and you can do midair aims. I forgot what aim gliding with this, which is really cool, and aim gliding cancels the flight as well. Let me show it in gameplay. Alright, so I activate my Infernalis, I dodge, and I fly around. Now, the speed of this flight can be is scaled up with parkour velocity, but I wouldn't suggest that because it can go really, really fast, and you might become Titania. That's different. You can just become a different flavor of Titania. The spinning can be cancelled by landing onto the ground or doing a dodge move for the second time. And it's just pretty awesome. I like this ability. It's a good mobility ability. It's a good way to deal damage around you, and it's pretty nice. Uriel's second ability, Remedium, heals your shields, and if any of your companion guys died, it instantly revives them. Or if they're damaged, it can heal them to full health. The heal amount is increased by ability strength, and then, like I said, you can see the gold focus stats right here. Remedium is really cool because it can also give you overshields. And like, oh, my shields are broken, I'm about to die. No, I just use Remedium. I become immortal for like half a second, and I just heal back to full. I get my shields back, and I can even get overshields with it. That's why I like Remedium a lot, because like it revives your died companion demons, and it can also give you overshields. I'm quite fan of this self-sustain for Uriel. Just don't forget to click this button when you're about to die, because this is the like one of your ways to survival, and it's pretty cool. So, on his third ability. Now, his third ability kind of weirds me out at times because you basically rip the souls out of your companion demons. It damages them a little bit, like it doesn't kill them, and you throw that at the enemies, and they explode the enemy with contact, and they make them vulnerable to damage. So what I understand from this ability, it's more of a utility tool than like a nuke tool. Like, yes, it has like 500 damage, explosion radius can be 14 meters, damage vulnerability, scales with ability strength as well, like all of these other scale with range, ability duration, yada yada. Basically, what that does is you basically throw the souls and you just make enemies vulnerable to damage. Like, this is more of a utility tool than a nuke. So use it as like that. And this ability, as I said before, unlocks Vitalis, the buffer. And this is how the ability looks. You basically see this tiny damage, and now all the enemies are vulnerable to damage. If you do this, I don't think you already hit vulnerable enemies. It doesn't stack that much, but yeah, it just increases your damage by a lot. And combining that with your other abilities and like the chaining ability of Katanak, it just makes things go even more smoothly. Taking down enemies becomes even easier, and it's just like a bread and butter of Uriel if his kit wasn't already strong enough. And I didn't even talk about his fourth ability yet. So let's go on to his fourth ability, the main event. So Uriel's fourth ability is Brimstone. Uriel and his demons create a growing ring of flaming brimstone. Charge the ability by utilizing demon abilities. Damage inflicted increase with each consecutive hit. The damage increased by ability strength, range can be increased by ability range, and duration increased by duration. Yada yada yada. This ability is quite insane Because first of all, you need to charge this with your demon abilities. Like when your companions does something, when you grab an icon, when you grab a rune, when you hit chained enemies, when you kill chained enemies, when you kill an enemy that Gold for Gore is attached to, these charge the bar. And when the bar is fully charged, you can now use the four. And I suggest building another range on this. I'm gonna show you guys my build. This ultimate is crazy. Let me show you guys the gameplay of it. And what's surprising is Brimstone multiplier cap cannot be uh, scaled by anything. It stops at 10 times. It's static with 10 times. All right. So you start the mission. Goldfogger attaches to someone. You see the icon. You kill the enemy. And okay, I need to. There we go. Not gonna. I like the way that the orbs just fly out of it. It's just like that self sustain is also good. You use your third ability. You kill enemies that Goldfogger is attached to. You grab runes, and as you can see at the right bottom side, the bar is slowly charging. Just keep doing this until it's fully charged. And when it's fully charged, you just go all out on enemies. And mine has 35 range because of the scaling. And yes, this is 35 meters of range. It just like spreads around and you can like burn the entire map. Like the enemies already disappeared, which is insane to me. So, and that's his 4. And I guess it's time for to show my build for Uriel. Let me show you guys what I utilize, what Archon shards I use. So, when it comes to the build. So the build is really simple. I use growing power, primed continuity, primed flow, just energy stuff. We have blind rage and transient fortitude because of overextended. The thing is, overextended cuts down your strength by a lot. And I also use multi mandate with arcane energize to give it even more strength because overextended will hurt your ability strength. So to fight that cut-in ability strength, I just use Blind Rage and Transient Fortitude, and some Archon shards. Then I also added Stretch for some extra range. Now I use Primed Redirection for the shields, but I actually have a better option than that. Like if you're a shield guy, you can use this, but in my opinion, what you should use is, if you have it, Archon Vitality. This is a mod you can get from call missions. What Archon Vitality does is status effects from abilities that deal heat damage will be applied twice, so that means double the heat procs for your ultimate, your abilities, and such. Which is, in my opinion, is quite insane. So if you're a shield guy, use primary direction. If you don't care about shields, which I don't as well, I don't know why did anyone put redirection at the first place. You can just use Archon Vitality and go off. Like, it's just a better choice because you already have your second ability to sustain. So let's just go to a survival mission in Void and see Uriel. So this is how your average mission will go with Uriel. You're just gonna make enemies weak. You're gonna grab some runes. You're gonna make your weapon really strong. And the quality of my recording is already dropping because of the amount of particles in the screen. You're gonna charge your ultimate really fast, go to a crowded area, and then go boom. It's just insane, man. I just love Uriel's gameplay. You just burn everything. You self-sustain with your second ability. You make enemies weaker with third ability, and you make enemies lit on fire with your first. And you're gonna be mobile a lot, which is also really cool. And then your 4 is gonna be the finishing touch to burn the entire map down. Now, after this, I'm gonna quickly go over the Archon shards I use. So I used 2 Archon shards for strength because using 2 mods wasn't enough to balance that overextended. I use 1 for duration to make that a good 158%. I use casting speed for making the fort cast faster because it's kind of clunky. And I use parkour velocity so the 1 is faster. You don't have to use parkour velocity. I'm just doing this for the funny. And that's all for Uriel. And look, his Sub-Zero ability is the healing. It says reduce healing, so I don't know if this is as good as using Pillage or Rebuild Shields. And that was all about Uriel. This is how I built him, this is his abilities, and he's probably one of the most insane fire-based Warframes. Right next to Ember, Flare, and What was the other one? I kind of forgot one of them. There was Amber Flare, and then now there's like Uriel, which is crazy. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment what's your opinions on Uriel, and I see you guys in the next Warframe video where I talk about Vinquibus, the signature weapon of Uriel. Bye!